feels like the time is right for me to make an expression. Oh, I love you, I need you, I don't want to leave you guessing. So, will you be my friend? Will you stand by me till the end?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back inside my real kitchen. Today I'm making, well, if you watched last week's gumbo video, you might have heard a sneak peek about some sprouted wheat sourdough donuts, maybe with some orange and vanilla sugar. Well, it's very similar to that. So what I'm doing, because I had so many of almost the right ingredients, that I decided I'm just going to do a slight variation. Today I'm making a honey wheat sourdough donut. We're going to toss it in a little cinnamon sugar. It's going to be great. The first step to our sourdough donuts is to make a sponge. So what I did last night is I put a cup of my rye starter, which is just rye flour and water that's collected natural yeast from the environment. I put 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1/3 of a cup of honey, 1.5 cups of white all-purpose flour, and a cup of whole wheat flour into a bowl with a little bit of water, and mixed it up and let it sit overnight until it was really bubbly and fermented this morning. And then we put our dough together. And so the dough goes into the mixer. To put together our donut dough, we'll start with our starter, which is really nice and bubbly. Putting this right into the mixer here. It's nice and sticky. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/2 cup of honey. One tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons more yeast, and 1 cup white all-purpose flour, and 1/3 whole wheat flour. We're gonna mix this with the dough hook. Now that a dough has formed, it's a little sticky, but not too wet. I'm going to mix in about 1/3 cup of chunked coconut oil. So while it's mixing, just gonna spoon out a piece, break it off, put it in. Kind of like putting in the butter while your dough is beating with the paddle when you're making brioche. But I'm doing it with coconut oil, and I'm using the dough hook. I'm gonna turn it up a little. Now that our dough is formed, I'm going to leave it on a lightly floured surface, covered in a tea towel, or you could put it in a bowl and cover it in plastic. and it needs to rest for at least 1 hour or until doubled in size. And then we can start cutting out our donut shapes. Now that our dough has had an opportunity to double in size and get really nice and soft and fluffy, we're going to roll it out and cut it into our donut shapes. Now, I don't have any round cookie cutters, unfortunately. I've got all kinds of funny shapes, but I do have a bunch of different sizes of hearts. So we're going to make heart donuts today, and that means little heart donut holes.
When the child was just a child, it did not know what it was. Like a child, it had no habits, no opinion about anything. Maybe I will get a job as a way to rest. Maybe waiting tables in a diner.
Now that we have our donuts cut out, we're giving them their second and final proof before going into a 350-degree oven. So right now they're just waiting and rising. Okay, I'm ready to put our little donuts in the oven. I'm gonna put our rack in the middle here. And this one just one above it. And put all these in here. Whoops, this one's uneven. I'm going to start them with 10 minutes in the oven, and then I'm going to check on those little donut hole hearts. Okay, our donuts are ready to come out of the oven. It doesn't look like they have as much lift as I wanted. Not very puffed up. But we carry on. All right, now that we have our donuts out of the oven, the next thing we're going to do is brush them with a little bit of coconut oil and then dip the top side into some cinnamon and sugar. And with our tiny little baby heart holes, we're going to do a little powdered sugar. Start with coconut oil and a little brush while they're still warm so that everything gets absorbed in and the flavors really melt in there.
City, down the highway, after all that we've been through, I know we'll make it. I know the way. The question is it true? There is nothing we can do. I see you.
Now that we have our, I don't want to call them donuts because they really didn't come out as donuts. They're more like thick, doughy cookies. They're really not that bad, but they're not donuts. I'm still going to have mine with a little cup of coffee, and I've got the little ones with the powdered sugar, kind of like a donut hole, and the big ones with the cinnamon and sugar. So, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you know that every time I try out a recipe, I don't know if it will succeed or if it will encourage me to try it again another time. So, keep following along, see how my donuts progress with time. Not bad, but not a donut.
Along the way.